Good day, good day. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Jay, and this is Homeschool Your Kids podcast. Today we have with us Esther. Esther, introduce yourself.
Yes. Hello, my name is Esther Kalola. I'm from Esther O Educator. I teach engaging online K through 2 academic classes and support parents and students in the homeschooling process.
Oh, nice. Okay. Homeschooling process support. Thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. How did we get here? Why?
Yep. So I taught pre-K for 2 years, and I've been teaching first grade for the past 4 years. And 3 of those years have mostly been on Outschool. Mhm.
Okay, nice. So education is just always that's been your background. That's what you were like, oh, you know, I'm gonna change this world by educating these youth.
Yeah,
That
I've always wanted to. So I wanted to be a teacher when I was in first grade. That is the
oh,
funny thing. I have my book from first grade that I wrote in there. I want to be a teacher. I want to go to Disneyland.
uh,
All the things, like the car I
you
want,
can't
like
afford Disneyland, girl.
everything. Yes, everything. And so, I mean, growing up, I taught like Sunday school classes at church. I babysat for an aunt, volunteered at the Brookdale Library at the my local library. And of course, in college, I did a teaching practicum abroad. Like it's just always been in me
You went
to,
abroad.
yes, yeah, to
Where
teach.
you
So
go? Where you
France.
go?
Mhm.
Oh, nice. How was that?
It was fun. It was a great experience. I lived with a host family. They treated me like their daughter. I made a friend there as well, and I still try to keep in touch with her. She was in the education program as well, but she was a French student, and that it was a really great experience.
That is so awesome. I've never heard anyone doing their practicum abroad. Like that is so dope. They didn't tell me that option. They didn't give me that option. I don't recall that.
Yeah, I know it was
That's,
really a special like treat, honestly, that the U of M offered that. So
yeah.
goodness.
So
Mhm.
you like the babies. You are a little angel. You know, I call y'all little fallen angels because ain't no way. Ain't no way that I have those type of patients. But pre-K, first grade, elementary, that is your forte. Any subject you teach in all of them?
So yep, I teach all core subjects: phonics, reading, writing, science, and social studies. All core subjects for K through.
Nice. Nice. So how did you find your way onto Outschool?
Yes, you know what? I was really looking, so I had already started thinking about homeschooling and just kind of looking into it. Just like thinking about the future. I'm like, I think homeschooling sounds like a good idea when I was teaching first grade in the classroom. And then I was like, okay, I want to pay off debt, student loans. Like, what else can I do? I knew I could tutor, but I was like, I want something a little more. And just in that search is when I found Outschool. And so I signed up. I found out about another Outschool teacher who was offering coaching. And so I
Mhm.
signed up for some coaching with her, and that helped me really start my journey on Outschool. And it's been a learning process, but it's been a very good experience. So
Nice. Yeah, Outschool is so dope to me because like anything you could think of for a child to learn or interest that they would have,
mhm.
it's available on Outschool. Somebody's teaching it. And I love that.
Absolutely gaming, Disney classes, cooking, there are academic classes, like everything you can think of.
Yes, yes. Please run to Outschool and check out those classes that are available. It could fit your schedule. Y'all are open. I love that. So you're working with the babies and this is virtual.
Yes.
How is that? These little ones are sitting in front of these laptops. How is that?
Yeah, so teaching in class in the classroom, teaching online are similar in some ways. Like the most important thing, or one of the most important things in teaching as a whole, is classroom management. So
Yes.
you have to have really strong classroom management, and that's by making sure students know the expectations, that we're practicing the expectations, communicating with parents if needed to help support students in following the expectations in the class. And so we always go over our rules and procedures, routines and procedures. We practice them. Why do we sit like this in class? Why do we keep the distractions away so we're able to focus? So we go through those routines and procedures regularly at the start of class. And so over time, students adjust and they start to understand, oh, okay, like this is how I need to um, kind of conduct myself in class so that I can learn. And then, of course, I communicate with parents if I need to as well.
Of course. Are these one-on-one sessions? Or are you holding group sessions?
Group. I
Okay.
have done some tutoring, but I mostly have group classes right now.
Okay. What's the sizes?
6. So my first grade class, I had about 6 students, maybe 7 at the most.
Nice. And how long?
35 to 40 minutes, so not too
Okay.
long.
Okay. And so do you pick are you doing just one lesson within that time? Are you picking a subject to focus on? Like, how does that work for you?
So I do Monday through Thursday classes. For example, Monday is reading, Tuesday writing, Wednesday math, Thursday I'll alternate different weeks between science and social studies. And so we're doing one subject for that 40-minute class on that day. And then the next week they'll come back for the next subject and the next subject and the next subject, just 4 days in the week.
Okay. And how long? Are these like 6-week classes, or is this just 1 week, or how does this?
So my classes run the entire year. For first grade
Okay.
for the first grade full homeschool curriculum, that's an entire school year. And then the summer camp is about 8 weeks. The summer camp I have right now is self-paced, but that is a 4-week session for the first part 1, and then another 4-week session for part 2.
Nice. So how are these classes looking? Because I can't imagine these little 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds sitting at this computer and being attentive. So tell me about a day, like walk us through a session with you.
Okay, so a session, we log in, I greet, welcome, good morning, good afternoon, and then we go through our welcome work. So if we're still waiting for everyone to join the class, or we're early, we'll do our welcome work, and then once everyone's there or it's time to start, then we'll go into our schedule for the day. So we usually start with a warm up, then we'll go over our lesson, we'll do Kahoot, and then we'll complete our worksheet. And then at that point too, we go over our objectives. So I have students recite their I can statements. For example, I can find nouns and verbs, right? And then I'll have them repeat that so they know what we're learning for that session. We go into our warm up. Our warm up, I usually have like a movement that's related to the lesson. So maybe we'll watch a Jack Hartman 3-minute video where we're moving and we're singing our nouns, a person, place, or thing. And then, so we have a little practice there. Then we start our lesson. In our lesson, there are opportunities to interact with the screen, to interact with the lesson. Sometimes I'll have them write and give answers. For example, they could write an example of a noun on the screen or draw an example of a noun on the screen. So I try to make it interactive in that way. Sometimes we'll do some click and drag. It depends. And then after the lesson, we'll go into Kahoot, which gives them that practice and it feels like a game. So we'll do a Kahoot where they're working on nouns and verbs, for example. Maybe they're finding a noun in a sentence, or they're telling me if this picture is showing a noun or if it's showing an action, if it's showing a verb like swim, something like that. Once we're done with that, then we'll go over our worksheet. So that Kahoot is it's like an informal assessment that allows them to practice what
Yeah.
they've learned in a fun way. And then we'll do our worksheet and we'll go over it together as a class. I'll call on different students to help answer different parts. And after a while, I understand every student's ability level, if a student can read a full sentence or if they're just really on words right now. So I'll have them help out with the worksheet in different ways based on their ability level. And that is our lesson. We'll go over the worksheet together and I see them the next day.
Nice. That is beautiful. I know so many parents are always looking for some kind of foundation, especially at that age. Like they're like I see the questions all the time. They're looking for curriculum for them kids and like these little babies. But I love that because you are helping them to create like a what is it? Not well, I mean a schedule essentially, but
It's
consistency.
Mhm. Thank you. Yep. It's supplemental learning. It can be supplemental. I do also offer assessments. So it could really be the full first grade experience, and parents are doing one or two things here and there,
Mm.
but they're not having to do so much. It takes a lot of planning and like the stress of finding curriculum because I give all the worksheets. I make all the worksheets and provide that to parents for each subject for each day. So my goal is to alleviate like the stress and the curriculum searching and all the different things that come along with homeschooling, just to kind of take that off of parents and really have them just focus on spending time with their learners and helping out here and there in terms of maybe if a student is needing a little extra help on a topic.
Nice. And I like the fact that you're only doing it for 45 minutes.
Mm.
Suppose you ain't holding them hostage for like 3, 4, 5 hours. So that is nice. I'm sure they're very attentive during that 45, and I'm sure that 45 goes by rather fast too.
It does. It goes by quickly. They are attentive. It's a short time period. So that's really nice.
Yes. So why the babies? Why did you pick that age group?
I just really like, I just,
Little angel
because,
you. Look, you little angel you.
oh, thank you. Because I wanted to become a teacher when I was in first grade, I think that has it does have a big reason for why I work, especially with first grade. Like I taught first grade at a private school, and then I moved to teaching both the private and teaching out school first grade until I moved to teaching out school. Um, on out school. So I think it's just because I wanted to be a teacher when I was in first grade. And so I just chose first grade. And I love that young period. I always say like the first 5 years of a child's life are the most important. Not to say that the other years following it are not, but that's really when the foundation is set.
Yeah.
The expectations are set and they're really coming and understanding that the reading, literacy, all of those things. So we could even say for literacy, I would say maybe like the first 7 years. So like first grade is really foundational in terms of helping students build their reading skills, developing as readers. That's why also I like the younger ages because you're helping them develop those foundational skills that they'll build on for the rest of their life.
Yes. Yes, they will. I was gonna say, how big was the impact your first grade teacher had on you?
Miss Clary, Miss Bradley,
Oh,
Miss Gary. Oh my goodness.
oh,
Um,
oh,
I remember
yes.
them. I had different teachers because I moved into the country in first grade, but I already spoke English. I'm Nigerian American. English is part of that's just how the education system is set. It's set in British English, but it's English.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was already fine there, but accent and things like that. so,
Mm-hmm.
so I had some like ESL teachers just to support because I'm new. I was done with ESL by third grade though, but I had three teachers and I just love them. Like
Yes.
I've always loved my teachers, but they were great. They were really, really supportive. So
Yes. No, I just know because I my declaration for wanting to be a teacher came in 5th grade. So my fifth grade teacher was the one that set the course for me, Miss Crawford. Shout out. And it's like those teachers really matter. And that's why I want people to always understand, like when I talk about homeschooling, please know that I'm not talking and trying to take away from the teachers that are very passionate about what they do, because we have some very passionate educators in the school system that are there because that is their heart, that is their desire, that's what they wanted to do since first grade. So understand that they definitely make the difference. But Miss Crawford, honey, I love me some Miss Crawford. She was really amazing. Just her care and her respect for me in general. It's just like, oh my gosh, this little lady sees me and hears me, and I love that. And I wanted to do that for others. So that's why I was like, oh, okay, your first grade teacher must have been bomb.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They were fantastic.
Nice. So, okay, time in the regular classroom, in the traditional classroom setting. How was that? Was it just you in there with all those little bitties, or did you have 2 or 3 other teachers also?
In a physical classroom, in the physical classroom,
Yes.
it was me. We did have TAs, which were like high school students that would come in and help from time to time. They'd have a different schedule, but it was me with my students.
Gotcha. And how was that time? Because you said during that time you were thinking about homeschooling. So, I mean, what was going on?
That time was good. I had a lot of parents, and I still kept in touch with them for years after I wasn't even at the school anymore. I was invited to one of my students' baptisms. Like
Oh,
it was a really great experience. Yeah, I'm trying to.
you don't have to be politically correct.
Right, they were, you know, okay, so as you grow in your career in education, sometimes you start to see, like, okay, hindsight is 2020, right? Like, okay, some of the things that were suggested were valuable, and are valuable to me now. Even as I'm like growing my own business, right? Like I see the administrator's perspective as well, so much more now. Um, at the same time, I'm still a teacher, and I also still have the teacher perspective. It was good, but I think it was a learning experience for myself and for leadership as well.
Yeah.
If
How
that
big was your class?
14 to
Okay.
start, I think I ended with 15 that first year, and then I had 18 like the next part of the school year.
Okay.
Mhm.
Did that play a role in you deciding how big you wanted your classes to be on Outschool?
Yes, yes, it does. I read Harry Wong. I've read like all his books at this point, in terms of like classroom management and the first days of school.
Who, say the name again?
Harry Wong, Harry and
Harry
Rose.
Wong. Okay.
Love them, love their material. He does say that class size isn't the most important. However, I do still think it makes a difference in terms of the amount of attention that you're able to give and provide to students. It makes a difference.
Big difference.
And I think parents also want smaller class sizes because they know that their child will get a little more attention, when the class sizes are smaller. There's only so much one person can do for students as a teacher, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. And you don't have any little ones, do you?
No, I don't have kids, not yet.
Yeah, because I'm about to say you look like a baby. You look like a baby.
Thank you.
So, but okay, but in the event, when thinking, because I tell people I declared that I wanted to homeschool before I had my own kids too. I was in my mid-20s talking about I'm gonna homeschool my kids. I'm gonna homeschool my kids, y'all. And this came from my time spent in the traditional class setting as a teacher. And I was like, yeah, no, this isn't it. Not for mine. But like, while I'm here, I'm going to do what I can to make a difference. I was a middle school, high school teacher. So like I said, you and your little heaven sent self with those babies, Totally different, totally different. But I think classroom size is a big factor in curating an education that fits an individual. Like you can't do that at a status of 15, 20, 25 kids. You can't individualize that.
Mhm. It's hard. It's hard. And students come in with so many different needs.
Yeah.
And you're not only supporting the students, you're also supporting the parents, which I absolutely love. I love supporting the parents because once parents know that you really care about their child,
Yeah.
they're very willing to hear your perspective, to hear your suggestions. And so with supporting the student and the parents, it is a lot once it's like 15 students and above.
Mm-hmm.
It gets to be a lot.
Yes. Talk about your relationship with your parents without school, the partnership.
Yes, without school, with homeschooling parents, I here get more responsiveness from them. I think I've had students that are also like after school, and so it's just an additional, somewhat like tutoring class for them. Um, but with parents, with students that are being homeschooled, the parents are communicative. It's been a good experience. I found that homeschooling parents are just wonderful. So, no, I
Yeah.
mean all are too. The traditional
I know,
schools
because
also
people
have
will
been
find offense. Yes, no, she's not saying
are
that you're not
great.
wonderful. Yeah.
No, no, not that they've been great as well and communicative and like supportive. But I hear more from homeschooling parents. But the traditional school parents have also been supportive of me. They've just been very kind, very supportive, want me to succeed, all those things. So
How important do you feel is the parents' role in their children's education?
I believe parents are the number one teachers in their child's life. There is a teacher that can make an impact, that will care for your student and will be rooting for them, right? Like we're rooting for our students, going to that student's baptism, like I'm rooting for you, but no one can take the place of a parent in a child's life. I can't take that place. I can support and guide and give my suggestions and counsel and my wisdom, perspective, but the parent is number one. And that parent teacher partnership is crucial. It is so crucial.
That was going to be my next question. So, how important is the parent teacher? Communication, relationship, partnership, all of that. How important is that? Because parents, that's my focus. I need parents to understand no matter where your child is in, like if they're in traditional school setting, public school, charter, private, all that good stuff, you still got to understand how important your role is in this educational journey. So speak on the relationship of a parent and a teacher.
It is crucial. To the best of your ability, foster a healthy relationship and communication, regular communication with your child's teacher, because they are your number one resource for your child. They know your child well, they know their strengths, they know their areas of growth, and they have the resources to support your student to grow and to really bring out that potential that you see, they also see very clearly in your student. So having a healthy relationship with someone that can bring that out and support your child to get where they're supposed to be in life is so, so important. So, so important. The teachers care, they want to help. That is our heart. We want to help. That's why we become teachers. Because we want to help. We want to see children succeed. We want to see the next generation thrive. And so developing that relationship with your child's teacher, I mean, I can't even say how important it is because it is so important.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Let's talk some more about your transition from Nigeria to here and your time spent like I guess transitioning and getting comfortable. If you can think back to that. I mean, I feel like you can because first grade was very monumental for you in general. But how was that being here? But I mean, being able to speak English, I'm sure that sets you at course, because we have a lot of ESL students that don't speak any English that come here and transition into the public school setting. But how was your transition?
My transition was, in terms of like my educational journey, my transition into the education system, that was pretty smooth. I don't
Okay.
really remember having like a hard time. My mom was concerned because, I was like bow-legged and it straightened out on its own. My legs straightened out on their own. It's really a miracle. So my mom was more concerned about that. She was like concerned, oh my goodness, we don't want her to get bullied and things like that.
Oh,
I was just
yes.
very happy, very excited. I made friends so easily as a young kid, chatty, very chatty,
Yes.
good student, but chatty. That was always like the report from teachers. So my transition was very smooth. Of course, having those ESL teachers was helpful as well. I needed that to help with my transition. That's how I was able to come out of ESL so quickly. By third grade, I was no longer in ESL. So first, second grade, and then that was pretty much it. And then I remember going to like a Latin roots and suffixes, prefixes group when I was in third grade. So academically, I did well, and having that support made all the difference in making sure that I continue to be more like an advanced student, even within my grade. And then, of course, once I went to middle school, advanced classes and all that. But pretty smooth. And then have speaking English already, reading in English, writing, right? Because the education system in Nigeria, like students are just more generally you find that students are more advanced or they've learned a little more than their grade level peers here when they arrive to
Mm,
this country. So I already could read, I could write, like I was pretty much fine there. I was just really at my grade level was the only thing.
got you. Are the class sizes in Nigeria the same? Do they mirror the class sizes here?
I have teachers in my family. My aunt is a teacher. I need to ask her more questions. And one of my cousins is also a teacher now in Nigeria as well.
And okay, nice.
Yeah. So I'm not too sure. I tried to even look at homeschooling in Nigeria. I've tried to look at that too, because that's growing as well. It's a small group,
Really?
but it is growing. So I'm not too sure. I think there are similar challenges, but they're different at the same time. Like
Yeah.
what we consider here, like some behavioral challenges, right, that we see here and we consider are like not positive. Those things are happening too, but what they would consider a behavior challenge is a little not as much in comparison
Mm,
to here. So class sizes, I think there are similar challenges, like the class sizes are probably rising, but I just can't speak so much to it because
you were young.
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah. No, no
I need to
worries.
talk to the teachers in my family a lot more.
What about France?
France. What were the class sizes like in France? Hmm. They were relatively big too. I think I was like in a third grade class in France, a second or third grade class in France. Um, they were about the same. They were about the same, like
Is
15.
it structured about the same also as far as
Oh, but in terms of academic,
yeah.
those students, I mean, they're like writing cursive, they're
In third grade, second grade.
yes, so
Yeah.
the structure is more strict. And I think that's where I'm really pointing to with the Nigerian education system too, is that it's
Okay.
more strict.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I could definitely understand that. The rigor is
For sure.
more.
A
Yeah.
little more rigorous. Yeah, it's rigorous.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mhm.
Nice. I'm always curious. Like I've talked to people who've taught in the Philippines, China, different, just all over. And I'm just always like, okay, well, tell us about their school system. Like, tell us like how similar or not similar it is, in regards. what were some things that you highlighted in France that you were like, okay, I'm gonna bring that back? Like, like I like that. I like that practice. I'm gonna bring that back.
That's such a good question. I have some like things that I kept from France. I really think just the rigor, like the expectations, having, and I believe I did bring it back.
Okay.
So just very high expectations for my students. Not to say the US education system has its benefits, right? Because so many people want to come here and have the opportunities and the freedoms and all of those things are things that I value and I appreciate and I'm thankful for all of those things that I have in my life. However, I do think the academic rigor, they are so capable. My first graders, they are so smart. They are so
Yeah.
capable of so much more than maybe we expect of them
Yes,
and that
ma'am.
we hold them to. They can do it. They can do it. I
Indeed.
know. So that's what I brought back, the rigor.
Nice. No, I totally agree. I feel like we definitely here, and this is me saying it, not Esther. I feel like we definitely kind of slow our kids down here. It's like a different pace. Because you see some videos, especially in China, like those kids are like, they're cooking full course meals at like 5. They're like, they're doing everything, maintaining their stuff on their own. And I feel like our kids are way more capable than we're giving them credit for. I do feel like these little things come out being little geniuses, and then we kind of like slow them down because of the milestones or the standards or what, just what the, I guess, national guides are as far as, oh, your child should be here or your child should be doing this at this age or your child. And it's like, no, these kids are amazing. Like I've seen people teach their little 10-month-olds to read sight words, like
Mhm.
maybe 10 months, probably not even walking yet. But they can identify sight words. Like it's like unless you try it, unless you push them, you don't really know what they're capable of. But I feel like here it's like more of a like nurturing, like, oh, we want them to be babies forever. We want them to be, we want them to stay small and cute and, play forever, but their capabilities are beyond our understanding. I feel.
Mhm. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. I think we have to consider the global workforce now
Mm.
and
Mm.
not just the US, right? They're competing. I went to an IB high school and I took IB classes, right? International baccalaureate. It's like supposed to be an international standard of education. We have to think about that.
Yes.
So where is my child, where are my students going to be 10, 20 years from now when they're, in the workforce? Well, maybe like 20 years from now when they're in the workforce, right? Like, how are they going to be able to compete? Can they work in
Mm.
teams? Can they
Mm.
work with other people?
Yes. All of that matters. All of that definitely matters. I know I speak a lot to my 10-year-old about like what she wants to do. Like, and I'm never always like, what you want to do when you grow up. I'm always like, what you want to do? Like, what you trying to do? Because I wanted to do it now as opposed to later. So a lot of our conversations are always in regards to, girl, you can do that now, right? Like, you ain't gotta wait. Like, let's do that now. Let me show you. I've got her on Canva, creating things so she can eventually create some stuff for me. I told people I'm trying to shape her into my little assistant. She's
That's
got an
good.
iPad. Look, I need her to be able to help me. Okay, help me.
Family business.
Yes, ma'am. But I just looking at them and I talk about my 7-year-old and just looking at her and how her mind works and how her wheels are always turning. I told her she's powerful, so powerful because she's present for me in the 10-year-old's conversations. So some of the things that we've been talking about, she's already been taking it. They have a 3-year gap. So it's like, this 7-year-old is taking, I'm not separating them when we talk, like they're both together. So just seeing how she's able to process the information I'm giving the 10-year-old lets me know that, oh yeah, nah, she like, these kids are smart. They're very smart and intelligent. And they're able to take in so much more than a lot of parents are dishing out. So it's just like a reminder, like y'all got little geniuses over there. Remember that. These kids are little geniuses in my book. I don't know. I look at kids different. I definitely do. But they're awesome. Do you see yourself growing to maybe start a micro school? Like, because you kind of essentially already have one. Like, who do you see you going with this?
I definitely have. I mean, I have my 5-year plan. I've had like a 10-year plan, but I focus more on the 5-year plan. And that is something that I'm looking toward. I won't share too much, but I know becoming an organization on Outschool is something that I'm planning on doing very soon. And
Nice.
hiring at least a substitute for, because there will be times where I may not be able to be there to teach both grade levels because different events that I have coming up. So I'm looking to hire, substitute, and grow to
Nice.
have, first grade teachers and second grade teachers, third grade teachers, and really go K through 12.
Nice.
That's like my long-term trajectory, but I want to get there little by little, slow and steady
Yes.
wins the race. So I'm trying to be slow and steady about it, but I have been 3 years, actually part-time more so on Outschool. And this year I'm looking to be full-time and also hire on. Yes, I'm looking to become a school.
Nice.
Over
Have
time.
you heard of VELA?
A what?
VELA Education Fund? Yep,
Bela.
write it down.
Yeah, no.
VELA. Look, write it down.
Okay.
And anyone
Bela.
who is listening, definitely take note. VELA gives micro grants to
Mm.
educational providers. So they give $10,000 grants, a lot of them, to you do not have to be a nonprofit or anything like that. Just resources in general, educational resources, something that's out of the box. They call it non-traditional, out of the box education that they're looking for.
Mm.
So look into them in your journey and
Thank
planning.
you.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Because they're really awesome and really for education and making sure that our children are receiving what they need.
Mhm.
Um,
VELA.
VELA. Yep. VELA Education Fund. They had their first VELACon this year with all their like grant recipients and everything. I actually missed it, but I've received 2 grants from them and they're really awesome. They are.
Hey,
Yes,
absolutely.
ma'am. So please
That's
definitely
amazing.
look into them.
Very good. I will. I will.
Yeah. Yes, yes. So I'm happy and I'm so like um I don't know. I always feel fulfilled with these conversations because it's always nice to see people so passionate about the same thing that I'm passionate about, which is the kids and understanding that they are our future and we're trying to set them in, up for the best success that we can. That's in our control. And you got them at the foundation age of, okay, this is where you want them to fall in love with learning. This is when you want them to fall in love with just being their best selves in general. So I love that you're using the I can statements. I see that as many affirmations and I love what you're doing. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Of
you for having me.
course. Of course. Of course. Keep growing. Keep growing. Stay on that 5, 10 year, 15, 20. Do 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 it. Do it all. Do it all. Whatever it is that you have on your heart, just keep doing it because we need it. And it's in you for a reason. So keep walking in your purpose because you're
Yes.
appreciated. Yes, ma'am. So where can we find you?
Yes, you can find me on Outschool. It's Esther O. So it's outschool.com/teachers/Miss O. Miss
Miss.
dot O.
Okay.
Mhm. My
And
Outschool
what?
Facebook,
Mhm. Go ahead.
but I also have my Facebook page. And if you're in Arizona, I am with ESA Connection. So you can also
Oh,
find me on ESA Connection for finding vendors and resources for homeschooling.
nice. ESA Connection will be at the expo. So that's cool. Chris and Tammy. What was I about to ask you? Oh, I may have lost it talking about Chris and Tammy. But I really lost it. That's fine. Yeah, I lost it. That's okay. But okay, before I let you go, give us three things that you would tell parents that are growing and learning with their kids. Just three tips that you, especially for the babies, three tips that you would give them.
Structure.
Mm,
Um, whether you're going to fully homeschool with your own curriculum or you're looking for supplemental classes to support homeschooling, it's important that even though they are learning at home, to have a routine, to have a schedule, and to have structure for them because students really need that and they thrive on that. The second tip for parents, I mean, I would say look for a support group, whether that is a teacher that can give you additional help and support, assessments, resources, or that's a Facebook group or both. I would definitely say find support in your homeschooling journey because those resources will help you to really cater homeschooling to your students' needs. Lastly, the thing that comes to mind is really like enjoy this time with your student, with your child, setting those expectations early on for, expectations for your home values and things like that. Really, what's the word I want to use? Like instill those values, your home values in your child now and spend that time with them, give them, their, even if it's just 5 minutes, like you go get ice cream at Dairy Queen or something and ask them their favorite toy that they're playing with right now or what they like about Pop Patrol and Paw Patrol. All that stuff. Even if it's just 5 minutes because your schedule is so busy or you're doing this on your own and you're homeschooling them on your own, spend that time with them. Kid, they need that. They need their parents. They need that quality time. They need you to let them know what your values are, to set those expectations and to be consistent with those expectations and values. Those would be my three tips.
those are great. Those are definitely great foundational tips. Thank you. Thank you for that. Families, check out Outschool. Like I can't say enough about Outschool. It is a really, really dope platform that allows individuals to basically run their own schools in general. Like you're running your own school, your own classes. And it's the classes are so plentiful in the subjects that they cover, the interest levels. So it's a really, really awesome outsource. And if you are looking for that preschool, first grade, second, no, hit up Esther. She got you. Like she got you. Yes, with her small class sizes and her attentiveness to her children, her students' individual needs. So definitely check her out. And thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. And homeschool your kids.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Jay. Thank you so
Of
much.
course. Yes, ma'am.